Beyond, my name is Colin Moriarty. I'm IGN's senior editor. I'm here with the esteemed tech editor of IGN, Scott Lowe. And Scott, we're finally allowed to talk about PlayStation 4. And we've been playing with some debugs for a while, but we finally got our hands on with some retail units a couple days before the system actually launches in North America. So what are your overall impressions of PlayStation 4 as a piece of hardware?
So far, surprisingly good. Like, I mean, and I don't mean to make it seem like I was apprehensive, but like, we hadn't seen much about the UI. We hadn't seen much about the feature set. We got a look at that earlier this week at the review event. But now, I'm back home brought it and,
just like a bundled baby
on the plane. Got it home and actually set it up in like a real world scenario where it's like, my actual kind of decent non-hotel Wi-Fi, and testing out remote play and stuff like that. And overall, like, it's a great system. I think they've done, I mean, obviously there's a lot of, little things here and there that are missing that aren't there yet that will come either in the day one update or just later down the line. But as a launch system goes, like, the feature set is pretty broad and pretty interesting.
So let's start with the UI, because that was what really was most striking to me. I mean, we saw pictures of it, we saw Shuhei play with it a little bit at Gamescom, and what really struck me is it's almost un-PlayStation in how fast and fluid it is getting around it, getting into the games and out of the games, going back to cross-media or whatever they're calling it now on PS4. So what is your impression of the UI itself? I mean, is it something that you think is a step up from XMB on PS6?
Absolutely. I think it's way more visually arresting, like in terms of the use of imagery, like the What's New tab where it shows you everything that everyone's been doing. It's like, screenshots and videos everywhere. I mean, right now it's just Shuhei on my friends list who actually has a PS4, so it's just a bunch of clips from Shuhei. But it's like, it's a really interesting way to present what people are up to. And then, like, it even like kind of fluidly moves into, like, when you load up a game, like, if you fire up Battlefield, you'll see everything that your friends have been doing with Battlefield, and it's very, very intelligent. And like, I mean, I know that word social is kind of tossed around a lot, and it's just kind of that buzzword, but like, it is a way more social experience. Like, that's what part of my problem with PS3 always was. It just felt like so sterile and disconnected, whereas something like an Xbox, like the Xbox Live system, is very much a personal experience, and it's very much tied into what your friends are up to. This kind of merges those two ideas in a really compelling way.
What was your impression of, and I'm not sure how much time you've gotten to tinker with it, but what was your impression of PlayStation Network and PlayStation Store, and kind of the, I saw, for instance, the trophy still have to sync when you connect and things of this nature. So, in terms of the connectivity beyond the kind of the more broad social stuff, what was your impression of connecting the PSN for the first time and being able to play with it?
Yeah, so the digital storefront, I mean, that's where that speed comes in. Like, because that was always the problem with PSN on PS3. It was just like, kind of slow to load. Stuff was kind of, you would like sit there stalling for a second between interfaces. This is just very fast, very snaps, right then and there. And then, like, the use of imagery, again, is much bigger there. Like, the titles are presented in huge cards, and like, they look like gorgeous on a 1080p display. So yeah, overall it just seems very, very fast. Like, you can browse effectively. Search results are much faster. Like, overall, it's pretty outstanding.
And I will say, just because the theme does seem to be fast and rapid, and just I loved even starting up Killzone from the UI, and it takes literally like 5 or 6 seconds for the game to start and get you to the menu. Like, there's the Gorilla logo shows up, and then it's just like, you want to play the campaign, the multiplayer. I love it. Everything's it's so much quicker. It's more mindful of your time. So, so I appreciate that.
Well, and then there's like the multitasking feature. You double tap the home button, and it takes you back immediately to what you were doing last. So if you're like, sending a message to somebody and you wanted to get back to your game, you just double tap and it'll just kind of go back and forth really fast.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So the final thing I want to talk about is a feature I'm actually quite intrigued by as a PlayStation Vita fan. Remote play. And we've gotten a chance to play this in some capacity, but now that you've gotten a chance to kind of mess with it a little bit in the real world, what is your impression of remote play?
I think it's one of the most exciting and like kind of surprisingly under-publicized features. I mean, Sony's kind of dabbled on it, and the enthusiast market has picked up on it, but it's not part of their big push. And I think some of that is due to some of the kind of bugs that need to be ironed out. But overall, it's really effective. Like, you could start remote play from your Vita and do, like, once you get that initial pairing process done, where you have to enter a code that's displayed on your PS4. Once that's done, you could just pop in and out of remote play without ever having to restart your game, like on the PS4. Like, it's so seamless that, like, there is no hassle to it, which is the big deal. Like, like, if you're sitting on your couch and someone wants to watch TV and you want to keep playing, like, you just fire up the app on the Vita and leave your PS4 running, and you get going immediately. Performance-wise, obviously, that's the bigger thing. Like, for me, I have a pretty decent connection at home. I have a AC router. The experience was better than what I saw at the review event. Frame rate issues were less pervasive. connection problems every here and there, but like overall pretty solid. But I think everybody's experience is going to vary, which I think is why Sony's not really pushing it as hard as they probably could be.
Interesting.
Cool.
So I know a lot of people out there have been asking like, where's our review of the hardware? And I think you think it's most pertinent, and I think wisely so, to wait and really get the feel for it in the environment that everyone's gonna be playing it on, starting on Friday, November 15th. So, can we expect our review for PlayStation 4 next week? Or
yes. Barring any disaster, our current plan is to have it next week. So really, really soon. So hang tight. We really just want to make sure we do it right, and that we get the best sense of the system in its most final form in the way that you're going to experience it. And critique it based on that.
Okay, cool. I think that's the right move. If you are, hungry for some other reviews, of course we have our reviews for Killzone Shadowfall and Knack and Resogun and a bunch of other games up right now on IGN, both in written and video format. And if you're worried about where our Madden review is or our Battlefield 4 review, those are all coming, so please be patient with us. In the meantime, for all things PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation 4, keep it tuned to IGN.